All right, we are officially live. Let's get this music turned down so it's not blowing everybody's eardrums. So excited to be chatting with you all. We're going to get started here in just a second once we make for sure that everything's actually working the way that it's supposed to. And so we're going to have some fun talking about a really hyper controversial topic. It's really not that controversial, but I like to say things are controversial even when they're not, because why not? But it looks like the audio's working. We got some people joining in. If you would, do me a favor. If you're watching now, go into the comment section. Let me know, where are you watching from and what your favorite color is. Okay? Where are you watching from and then what your favorite color is. I'm going to try to memorize your favorite color for the rest of all time, because why not? I need to keep my memory sharp. So, with that being said, go ahead, drop into the comments and hit that like button for us, and we're going to get started talking about this topic where I'm going to be doing some screen sharing, some other cool stuff where I actually show you stuff that I work on with people that pay me lots of money, and it works for them, and you get to learn that for free here inside this live stream. So thanks for being here. I'm excited to show you, actually show you this stuff. But at first, I just want to explain why I'm showing this to you, so you understand when I start showing this to you why you should pay attention to what I'm showing you. Why? Well, because guess what? When people interact with your website, sometimes things go good, sometimes things go bad, but what we've noticed is that there's patterns. Think of like a deer walking in the forest, and all these deer walk down the exact same path all the time. It carves out little side trails all throughout the forest. Well, when people go through your website, there are basically trails. There are consistent things that people do on your website in mass. And part of what I help people with is, how do we get people to stop going to the places that don't actually end up in inquiries and instead make changes, whether it be to your copy or the structure of your page or what I call conversion aesthetics, and instead get them to go down the pathways that lead to what I call character development, that create a magnetic draw that people cannot resist, so they get the feeling that they're destined to work with you specifically. The results of this are that you get more dream clients being magnetically drawn in and inquiring with you, but also Google sees how people are interacting with you, and therefore they want to rank you higher and higher and show you to more people. So if you like the sound of that, stick around, because I'm going to be screen sharing and actually showing you how to do this. Now, a couple prerequisites: you need Google Analytics to be able to do this. So if you don't have Google Analytics, I'm going to show you some Google Analytics stuff. You're going to be like, what the heck are we looking at? So, if you don't have Google Analytics, it's going to be kind of tough to actually show you these things. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to be valuable, because you'll still get an idea of exactly what we're looking at here and how it can help you if in the case that maybe you decide to get Google Analytics here soon. It is free, so why not, right? But just note, if you don't understand what's going on, that's why, because you need Google Analytics. So without further ado, I'm going to screen share. Hopefully my screen sharing works as it's supposed to here. This may be too small. Last time I did this here, let's get my face over here. Michelle said, hold on, I'm going to try to move it around. She said it was too small to see, so I may have to screen share that full size thing. Let me see. There it is. There's the full screen share sized thing. And we are on, looks like, Google Analytics, which is where I want to be. Now, there's a couple things here, a couple caveats. One is, if you have used Google Analytics, have been aware of Google Analytics, you probably see up here, up top, where it says on July 1st, 2023, we're blah, blah, blah. Basically, we're going to stop using Google Universal Analytics. I'm going to stick with Universal Analytics as long as I possibly can, because guess what? It's better than GA4. It's just better. And they keep moving that date over and over again. They have moved this July 1st, 2023 date several times. And I have people ask me, well, should we switch over to GA4? And I'm like, no, you can have a GA4 property as well. But right now, they're sticking around on Universal Analytics, so I'm not worried about that. The next thing I always have to tell people is, you don't really need to be worried about this stuff. We're not really worried about the overall bounce rate or session duration. Really not that worried about it. Users and sessions, maybe, but I don't even look at that. There's really only a few things I like to look at inside of Google Analytics. And keep in mind, I'm not trying to teach you how to become a Google Analytics expert. This is not a how do you use Google Analytics live stream. That's not what this is. What we are looking at, however, is a couple things. One thing that we're going to look at inside of here is called site content and then landing pages. And inside of here, there's various pages, as you see, and you're going to notice that, these all have a bunch of confusing numbers. However, you don't need to worry about all the different numbers. You want to just focus on one thing, generally the slash, which is going to be your home page. Now, when we look at your home page, you'll notice two things. There's bounce rate and session duration. These are the two most important metrics when it comes to your website. Now, with my Dream Client members, I try to tell them and encourage them to target at least 1.5 minutes for average session duration and at least a 30 to 40% bounce rate. Now, session duration you want as high as possible. Bounce rate you want as low as possible, because bounce rate is how many people hit your homepage then don't interact with it and don't go to any other pages. So the higher the number, if 100% of people bounce, that means you ain't got nobody doing nothing on your website. But if you got, a 10% bounce rate, that means, dadgummit, 90% of people are interacting with your good old website there. So I just tell people 30 to 40% is a pretty good target. Lower is always better. Same with session duration. It's higher is always better, but you just want to get at least, ideally I've seen for people that want to rank first page on Google, usually at least 1.5 minutes, but it's not uncommon for some of my Dream Clients members that I work with to actually get up to, 4 or 5 minutes, sometimes even more. So that raises the question, well, how do we do that? How do we get people to stick around for so long? Well, you got to stick with me, because it does have to do with, again, figuring out which parts of your website suck. We have to figure out where are people not doing what they need to do. Now, if your homepage is below target, like in this instance, I would say, hey, shoot, we need a longer session duration and a lower bounce rate. So there's stuff happening on this homepage that is not what we think people should be doing, because if they were doing what we think they should do, we should have a higher session duration, a lower bounce rate. So that means that there's something off just with this specific page. Now, what we could do from there is we could use something called Full Story. Now, there's other versions of this. Apparently, I cannot type, so I'm going to try that again. There's other versions of this type of software. Full Story is just one of them. I've got so many stinking accounts on here, I don't even know which one is the actual one. Let's go with this email. See if it works. See if I actually got this one plugged in. Hold on, guys. I may not even have this one set up fully. Because I got too many of these, and I don't think this is the one I use. Yeah, I think this is the wrong one. Let's log out, try to log into another one. If I can't get this work, then do not fear. Because it will still, I don't know if these are going to be mine. I might be able to sneak in here to one of these real quick. Watch a few of these. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. So, anyhow, we've got these videos inside of here of people interacting with a particular website. So it's like you can actually watch, and that one's too short, so that one's not going to be any good. But like we can actually see how people are interacting with with a website, namely your website. We can see exactly what they're doing, and this is super helpful because, like, let's say they're coming into the homepage, we can actually see, okay, well, how are they interacting with that homepage, or how are they not interacting with that homepage? So like we see this person is kind of scrolling down. They're probably reading this, right? Well, we can begin to identify where they're not reading stuff or where they are reading stuff. Where are they interacting or not interacting? Where do they tend to leave? When do they tend to stick around? And we find the places that I call dopamine dead spots. These are the areas in which people are just not doing what we think they should be doing. And so that's exactly how you come up with, that's the spot on my website where people keep leaving. That's the part, that part of my website nobody's interacting with. That part of my website is no good. And of course, you don't change the ones that are good. Like if somebody's reading stuff, they're interacting with it, you don't change it. So this is my approach to how we help not only websites rank on Google, but also how do we help people convert at a higher percentage on your website, because we go through and we go, okay, well, we know that this spot, people are doing this, which means they don't like that. And then obviously over time, I've come up with solutions based on what we're seeing. So if somebody does, on one hand, this thing, we go, we've seen that. We've seen these patterns. You should do this, this, and that. Or if they're doing this on this other hand, we go, that's a different situation. You need to do this, this, and this. And I'll give you an example. For instance, like if we see someone power scrolling down your page, and that's the thing they do. They land on your homepage, they power scroll down, which this is one thing we see on people's homepages. Well, we have certain solutions for that, such as making sure that your copy's good. Okay, got good headlines, got good copy, maybe possibly putting something that's eye-catching that causes them to interact, like some sort of widget. Also, another thing is that we've seen over time is we've seen people like they land on the homepage and then they don't want to actually go down the homepage. They want to click navigation. Usually this is because of the setup of how people see the initial image and how they see the above the fold content. And above the fold meaning just what you see without having to scroll. It just doesn't draw people down the page. And so they see it and they're kind of like, yeah, I'm going navigation. So that's another thing. So again, there's a million different things that could be going on your website, but by going in and knowing, okay, homepage, the numbers look kind of lower than they should be. Okay, so I've got a problem there. Let me go watch full story videos, and I'm going to show you how you go specifically to the homepage here. Like if I wanted to look in full story and just see stuff on the homepage, I could go to visited page, and then I could go to the homepage specifically. Now I'm getting served videos specifically from the homepage, or where the visitors are on the homepage. So I can see, and you can skip inactivity, for instance, then it kind of skips over the stuff where somebody's not doing anything. So like that person's not doing anything, right? So let's watch another video where people are actually doing stuff. So they come in, they start to scroll down, it kind of loads. They start to read some of this, but they don't really read it. They skip down. They're doing lots of scrolling. Oh, wait, hold on. No. They decided not to go there. Now they're back up at the top, and then they're done. Right? Something didn't necessarily draw them in. We'll watch another one here just so I can give you an example. Again, the main point being here is well, that one's weird, so let's not watch that one. Sometimes you'll see weird videos in here. You're like, what is that even? Could be a robot on your website. So again, here we go. Here's a person. They just go straight to about. Okay, and then they're kind of like, what are they going to do? And then they're done. Right? All this stuff gives us data. We start watching this and we see patterns. Okay, so this person, they go straight to blog. Kind of check they're like looking at like, do I want to click that? They kind of click it and then it doesn't go anywhere. Then this is a problem solving thing. They're frustrated because they're clicking on this, but it doesn't actually go to the article. Right? So a solution here would be, okay, well, let's make that clickable. So again, this is just examples of how you can actually begin using, so I'm trying to get back to my video here. This is examples of how you can start identifying problem areas on your website. Now, I've got some more stuff to share with you, but before I do, I just want to give you a couple ways that you can go deeper with us here. And number one is just by commenting, reach out. If you're in the place where you're like, Jeff, this stuff is super cool, but I want to go deeper with you and possibly see if I qualify for working with you inside your mentorship program so I get handheld help with implementing not just like what we've looked at today, but my entire framework that helps people rank on Google in 30 to 90 days. You can just comment, reach out. There's no link you can go buy for this. Our mentorship has limited spots. We only work with so many people in a certain amount of time. And it is for people that we qualify as like, okay, you're a solid business owner. We trust that you're going to provide an excellent product to your customers. You're going to take care of people very well. You've got good work, all that kind of stuff. If you qualify, all we want to do is just figure out, hey, like, how can we help you? How can we then take you from where you're at now to the place you want to be in your business, utilizing Google and the concept of helping your website work for you the best that it possibly can. That's one thing. The other thing that you can do is we are allowing people to join a membership called Insider. Insider is a mixture of various mini courses all the way from SEO to mindset and some other types of things that we created. We've gotten some excellent feedback on it. We've actually had a few people say this stuff is life-changing. So I will put the link in there for Insider. But again, you can comment, reach out if you're interested in having hand-holding help. If you're just interested in, hey, I want to check out some more of your content, want to start learning more about SEO, want to start figuring out the stuff that you used in your business to get to where you are as a wedding photographer, Insider is the way to go for that. And again, here in a second, I'm going to provide the actual link directly to that. And then I've got some more stuff to share with you all about how to start measuring your website. Okay, I've got some other cool stuff to share about that. So let me see here. I've got your link that I'm going to be dropping in like 2 seconds as soon as I find where my comment box went here. Come back, comment box. I think, here we go. We're close, guys. We're close. All right, dropping it in now. What's up, by the way, everybody? I see we got some people that did comment. Michelle was over here. I think she was supposed to be reading me my comments, but I'm just now seeing them. So anyhow, oh, by the way, another thing that's inside that Insider membership is the AI mini course. I did a how to use AI for blogging mini course. It's inside of there, and fantastic thing. It'd probably blow your mind. Honestly speaking, that alone will probably blow your mind, but you get access to that inside of the Insider membership. So just keep that in mind. So we got that in there. Again, you can comment and reach out if you're interested in hand-holding help to get to ranking on Google in the next 30 to 90 days so you can book more dream clients. But let's talk a few more details about measuring your website and the types of stuff that you can do in order to not waste time when you're trying to make your website work for you. One of the biggest things I see people doing that I think is just terrible for you is you will have people that they go, oh, I need to redo my website. And so they redo their entire website, and or they pay someone thousands of dollars to redo their website. And then they go, shoot, my new, better website, quote unquote, is actually converting worse than my older, uglier website. And the reason for that is because website designers make the website for you, the photographer. You're the customer. They don't necessarily make it for the people that are buying from you, i.e. your couples. So you will buy a website thinking it's great, but it doesn't necessarily convert real well. And so what I try to tell people is you should focus on conversions from the business standpoint and have a balance between conversions and your website looking like your true style. But just paying someone else to build you an amazing website or totally redoing your website, your branding, all that stuff without having conversions at the center of it could be a total time waste, a total just drain on your bank account and your time. So what I recommend, again, is you use this method. You use Google Analytics, like figure out, okay, how's the homepage doing? Okay, which parts of the homepage are not doing what they should do, and then come up with solutions. Solutions like the layout, and again, specific areas of that homepage. If people are reading one section, don't change that. But if they're skipping over a section consistently and you're seeing these patterns where people aren't doing what you think they should do, then you got to start coming up with solutions for that. Copywriting, your calls to action, or whether you don't have calls to action, the layout, all this stuff that's like conversion aesthetics. I've seen so many times where people think, oh, yeah, my homepage is good, should be good. But then we go into it and there's like a sentence that doesn't even make sense really, or a sentence that doesn't really align with the brand. And so we need to get into copywriting. So one other thing I'm going to show you all, especially since you're sticking around, I gave you the pitch on how to go deeper here, and we had a few people drop off. But for you that stuck around, you get the reward because I'm going to show you something super cool here right as soon as I screen share. All right. So back in Google Analytics, behavior flow, guys. Behavior flow. So it's under behavior, then behavior flow. You can get in and begin seeing how people go from page to page to page. And this is very powerful because you obviously want them to go in a particular, what I call a lazy river, a series of steps in order for character development to happen. Those steps that I typically see being the best are homepage, like an experience page, then about page, and then contact. That tends to be the best series of steps that people go through. And so if you get in here and you kind of see like the most popular one is homepage, pricing, homepage, then they're gone. If that's your most like you're basically the most popular series of interactions right up the top, that's a problem. So you can look at yours starting, then first interaction, second interaction, third interaction, and you can see how people get to your contact page from here, right? Like you can see which pathways end up leading to the most amount of people actually hitting the contact form, right? Like you can see which pathways right now are number one almost guarantee you if they're doing the price shopper shuffle, which is like homepage, maybe your investment page or pricing page or portfolio, and then back to homepage and they leave, that's the price shopper shuffle. And that very rarely leads to actual solid good inquiries. But this map, so to speak, is just how are people moving from page to page? Because we look at it and we go, okay, well, there was 88 sessions here. Well, 14 of them went to the about page, right? And then we can even highlight it and go, okay, well, where did they go from there? Well, a bunch of them went to contact, right? We had 5 sessions go from the about page to contact. So they went, oh, cool. I like what I'm seeing on the about page. Well, let's contact them, right? So, but when you start looking at this, you start figuring out, well, shoot, I don't want people to be going straight to my pricing page or my portfolio and then not going anywhere else. So you not only can problem solve for an individual page, you can begin problem solving the pathway of your entire visitor experience on your website in order to make a pathway that works better. But again, like let's say they're going from here, but then just tons of people are dropping off here. Like for instance, on this site, there were 6 drop-offs that didn't go any further than the about page. That means there's probably something on the about page that is not converting as well as it could, because only 8 of the 14 people actually carried through to something else from this particular pathway. We can go in, again, we can watch full story, go, oh, well, shoot, on the about page, they're doing XYZ. We really want them doing ABC. So let's change up the XYZ and instead now it's ABC. Maybe we change up the copy. Maybe we add some CTAs. Maybe we do XYZ. Again, whatever it is that we need to do in order for them to do what we want them to do. Now we create more of a flow from this path or this page to the next step of where we want them to go. So we're being intentional about crafting our website experience. Now, I want to open it up for questions at this time because here pretty soon we're going to shut this down, and I hope this has been incredibly informative. This stuff is incredibly powerful. I know I've said incredibly now 3 times in like 2 sentences, but that's because this stuff works. It can create a massive transformation in the way that people interact with your brand. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm walking a large part of it anyhow, walking my dream clients members through so that they have higher percentage of people that are visiting their website actually inquire. And when they inquire, they're more ideal because they've sort of been transformed as they pass through the website. The website is actually creating a particular frame in their mind that leads to a better experience as a client. And so that's what we're doing. So with that being said, I am going to switch over real quick to the comments to make sure that y'all aren't asking any questions. I mean, if there's no questions, that's totally fine because I'm going to jump off here and maybe go eat some brownie batter cookie stuff that we got in the mail from Happy Root. And this is not an advertisement for them at all, although maybe we should partner with them. They can pay us money for how much money we're spending with them on random stuff like brownie batter made from beans. It's made from beans. It's brownie batter. It tastes straight up like brownie batter too. And you're supposed to make brownies with it, but I just eat it on a spoon raw because I think it's delicious. And so I'm not advocating the eating of raw brownie batter, but hey, it's really good. I don't think we have any questions, y'all. If you got any more like last minute questions about this, ask them. If not, I'm just going to believe that I'm absolutely awesome and explain things just so amazingly, and that's bad for my ego. So y'all better make up some questions real quick because Michelle's going to have to deal with me. Bianca says that says I'll take some brownie batter. Hey, if I could pass it through the screen right now, I wouldn't because I would have already eaten it all. But no, I would love to share some with you. So if you're ever out in Kentucky, come by. We'll have some brownie batter. What's up, Alyssa from Texas? Katie, Jennifer, what's up? Robin, Manaz, that is such a cool name. What's up, Manaz? What's up, Mark? Mark likes blue. I like blue too. I look bad in blue. Y'all ever like a color a lot, but you look bad in it? I think I look bad in blue, but I look good in like warmer colors. It's the weirdest thing. Christina, South Carolina, also blue. Got lots of blue. When was the first time? Hold on. Bianca says, when was the first time that you discovered to do this? So the first time I discovered to do this, oh my gosh, that is a good question. Yeah. What are you asking specifically? Are we talking about eating brownie batter or are we talking about using Google Analytics in order to figure out, when I call them, by the way, dopamine dead spots. I don't think I've mentioned that yet in this entire live stream, but I call these spots of your website where people are not interacting dopamine dead spots. And here's another quick fun fact for you. So this is rewarding y'all to stick around. Stick around, because I always come up with new stuff on the fly here. Google they have come out with their helpful content update. This means, and I actually love it, but here's what it means. It means that if your website is causing people to interact, and it's not just your website, it's specific sections of your website, specific pages. If you have content that's causing them to interact, that works for you. If you have parts of your website that's actually they're not interacting with, that can actually bring your ratings down. So Google wants your entire website to be helpful, quote unquote. That's why I do it this way. Now, back like years ago, I met somebody that worked for Google. I think this was like 2015. I was watching them over their shoulder and learning all kinds of cool stuff. They had an NDA, wasn't really supposed to be consuming this stuff, but hey, here we are. I've, for years, already had an idea of what Google is going to be rolling out with the helpful content update, which just came out like at the end of 2022. So if the question is, since when have I had the idea to do the Google Analytics stuff like we're doing it? I don't know, maybe 2015-ish, something like that. But I've used Google Analytics for a while, and I just noticed patterns. I would notice patterns. And I like patterns. I like finding patterns. I have a weird gift of finding 4-leaf clovers from like 10 feet away as I'm walking down the sidewalk. Anybody else got that weird 4-leaf clover finding skill that like you don't even look for them and you just find them, you just see them? Like you're like literally walking down the street and like, hey, there's a 4-leaf clover. Apparently it's a thing, and I've got that. So for me, seeing patterns and data is just a skill that I have. And so looking into Google Analytics, being able to go, okay, looking at full story, looking at stuff going, yeah, when you make adjustments here, make adjustments there. That has been something that I've built onto that over the years. It's been something that we find a new thing all the time, because you got to think, I'm working with people every single week, just about every single day I'm looking at this stuff. And so over the course of years, we've developed a system, and we keep on building onto that system. I mean, we're going to start incorporating AI into this. We're even looking at building a software out around this that would be able to help people to actually understand directly where their websites need to change, and possibly even create AI that could change their website for them in order to increase conversions. And so again, like this is stuff that it's kind of become my obsession to a degree, because it's helpful. Number one, that's why I don't just get obsessed with this stuff for no reason. But if you learn not to go, oh, I love numbers, and you just focus on numbers, because there's so much stuff in Google Analytics I don't use. I use like 3% of Google Analytics. I don't focus on all the stuff I could do. I just say, here's the few things I really find most helpful. And it's the 80-20 rule. 20% of your efforts should result in 80% of your output. Now, in reality, 5% of your efforts can result in 95% of your output many times. But I'm just saying, like, you don't need to become an expert at Google Analytics and full story. And I see people that going through my Dream Clients program sometime, and they're like, oh, well, what about this? What about that? What about this thing? And I'm like, you don't need to know all that. Just focus on this one thing. Just trust the process. Like, let's focus on this, problem solve for that, get to where you need to go. So people are going, oh, now they're getting to the contact page more often. Now they're hitting the submit more often. We're just problem solving for those areas. So anyhow, I'm going to have to shut this bad boy down unless we have any other questions. I don't think we did. What's up, by the way, Chantel? Glad you got to make it in here. Sandra, good to see you as well. Thank you all so much for being here. If you've got value out of this, please comment the word value below. That just helps me know that this content is stuff that you like. Because if you don't like this kind of stuff, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'll do something else, because I can all day long say, I think this stuff is cool, but if you all have no interest in it, then why would I do it? Because at the end of the day, it's just me sitting here, goofing. But if you like this content, you'd like to see more of it, comment the word value for me. Bianca had another question, Michelle says. Let's see what we got here. Can you read it out loud for me, Michelle?
Have you had clients say to you in person what they like and don't like on your website? Or if they say something, for example, it's super user-friendly more than other
yeah.
and so on.
Okay, so Bianca's question is basically, and I think the question is, have I personally had clients say to you that they like or don't like what they like or don't like on your website. I don't know that. Here's the thing: clients a lot of times are not they're not super aware of what they don't or do like. At least I don't trust their own sense of how aware of their likes and experience that they actually are. The reason I am that way is because we're all sort of biased in our memories. Going through a website, sometimes I don't think people really remember too well. It's like there's times that people inquire with me, and I'll look at the inquiry form, and then like I'll kind of try to get them to clarify, and they're like, oh, I really like. They'll say, oh, I found you on Google. I'm like, oh, well, what did you search for? And they're like, oh, I don't really remember. I think that most of the time, most people don't really remember their experience on your website other than was it good or bad. Now, that being said, both myself and other people that I've worked with will get comments like, oh yeah, I just felt like your website was so, it just seemed like you were such a fun person. Like I really felt like, I could connect with you. I really could see myself in like working with you, stuff like that. So I think that is answering a question. So, because the second part was it's super user friendly. It depends on what people mean by user friendly, because user friendly in the developing world a lot of times means is it easy to use? When we talk about user experience inside of this group, we're not so much talking about is it easy to use, but are we talking is it drawing people in? Are they seeing themselves in the stories that we're telling and getting excited about that? That's that's user experience. Are they seeing themselves in the stories that we're telling and getting excited about it? Are they feeling something as they interact with our website? Now, you want it to be user friendly, like you want it to be easy to get around, like for sure, but that's not just what we mean when we're talking about something being, user experience, like the user experience being good. It's more so like, are they experiencing something on that page that magnetically draws them to you? So I hope that makes sense. I think I answered the question. Michelle, did I miss anything?
No, I don't think so. I think that a lot of ways we're affected, our subconscious is affected by things that we see.
Yes. Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. Michelle says she thinks that a lot of times our subconscious is affected by the things that we see, and that we don't necessarily fully understand user experience. That's why I like relying more so on Google Analytics and Full Story, because like we actually see what people are doing. So we are able to interpret that. Now, it would be great if you could like take 5 clients and their, identify their interactions in Google Analytics, and then also interact like with them about their full story. Be like, why did you scroll like that right here? That would be super cool, but that's very, very, very difficult. Not impossible. It's actually possible to do that probably, but it would be very difficult. And obviously you'd have to find the right type of client that would want to do that. So anyhow, Stephine says, will I be able to replay this? I was driving when you were going over the Google Analytics page, so I couldn't pay attention. Yeah, the replay will be here. It'll be here. And just because it reminded me of, if you are watching the replay, give us a hashtag replay so we know who actually made it through the replay. What's up, Ashley? Glad you could join us, by the way, Ashley. All right. Sarah says value. Cool stuff. Love that. Amanda says value. Glad you could make it, Amanda. Beautiful. Okay, I think that pretty much covers all our questions, so we're going to shut it down for this evening. Keep in mind, we do these live streams every Tuesday, and if you all would, like, I'm probably going to do a poll, but comment here as well. Like, what times work best for you on Tuesdays? We've kind of moved to where, now it's getting to be bright until like 8:30 in the evening or so. And so I'm sort of reevaluating as we move into the summertime, what time of day we're going to be doing our live stream on Tuesday, because I like doing it later, honestly, because I want to spend time in the daylight. But just let me know what time of day works best for you when it comes to a live stream. If you want to watch this content, we want to try to make sure that you can see it and interact live as much as possible. So just let us know in the comments below if there's a particular time of day or times during the day. Your vote matters. Your opinion matters. Your availability matters. We want this content to be impacting photographers in order to create awesome results. And listen, some of the results, like we just talked to actually one of our family photographers we talked to, and this I think last week, she had gotten 15 inquiries in one day, and I believe they were all from Google. And she had, before we actually helped her, I think she was getting around like What was it, Michelle?
She was getting
Like 2 inquiries a week? She's getting 4 a week.
Yeah, but now she's getting between 5 and 10 a day.
Yeah, she gets between, on average.
She got 14 that day.
She got 14 on the one day, but she's getting like between 5 and 10 a day on average.
Yeah, I mean, 14 was the most recent number.
Yeah, 14 was the most recent. So what am I saying here? I'm saying Google can be incredibly powerful. You just got to know how to drive the machine. Right? You got to know how to drive the machine. So that's what we're here for. We want to create transformation for people. We got another, and actually I want to bring that person. She's agreed to do a live stream with me, not this upcoming week, but the week after. So you all have to make sure that you keep that on your calendars. We're going to be planning on probably doing Tuesday, not this week, but the week after around 8 p.m. And she's going to be coming on, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that she did and like the power that ranking on Google actually gives her as a family photographer. And so y'all, thank you so much for being here.
Sandra said, I've gotten 0 in a year.
Yeah.
That's still really good.
Gotten 0 in a year. Well, Sandra, I don't know if it's Sandra or Sandra, but 0 in a year, you're saying you've gotten 0 inquiries in a year. What are you doing to fix that? Would be my question. And I'm assuming it sounds like you want to be a full-time photographer, or you want to be shooting more than you are. So the big question is, what are you doing? And not necessarily even what are you doing, but who are you finding that can help you with that? Michelle and I just went to a mastermind out in Boise this past week. And one of the big things that we were impacted by that helped us realize, man, we need to have a mindset shift was, instead of always asking, how can I fix this? You start to say, who can help me with this, or who can do this, and aligning yourself with those people. And I don't know that there's anything better that I can tell you other than, number one, hey, well, is that where you want to be? Number two, where do you want to be? Number three, who are you going to find to help you specifically with that? And that's really the best way to success, because you'll attain success much more quickly than just trying to, either sitting back and going, oh, I didn't, life's not how I want it, or my business isn't how I want it. Or just saying, well, I'm going to get to work and try to do a bunch of stuff. The amount of things that you can do that might or might not be actually good for you makes it daunting if you really think about it. And the other thing about that is, like, even if you do figure out solutions and you're trying to do it on your own, the problem is that you burn a lot of emotional energy. But if you can find the right who to get around, then all of a sudden you've got quicker, faster, easier, less emotionally draining pathways to success. And so it helps you compound your success much more fast, much more quickly than if you were just doing it on your own. And so this is what we did in our own life. I mean, we immediately, when we became wedding photographers, started investing in education, honestly, even before we really had the money to do so. I mean, I was putting some stuff on PayPal credit because I knew that if we didn't make massive changes in our business, that we just weren't going to be able to pay our bills. I mean, that's where I was when I was, we were living in my grandmother's basement, and which wasn't a great place to be. Yeah, it was like a basement apartment. Yeah, it was like a walkout sort of basement. It was pretty much set up like an apartment, but not a great situation for us. And when I started the business, we started it sort of out of this thinking like, well, if like I'm about to graduate college, but even when I graduate, I'm not going to be making great money, like 50, 60,000. Well, we got 2 kids, one on the way, and we got medical bills and all this. I knew I had to do something drastic in order to make a massive change in my business and my life. And so we decided, hey, let's be wedding photographers. We jumped full force in, and I didn't have a bunch of money saved up in order to be able to invest in gear and mentoring, etc. And if I went back, I would honestly have probably put more into mentoring, less into gear, for sure. But that's a whole nother point. Like, would my clients really have realized that I had a 1.2 lens over a 1.8? Like, probably not. So I would have put less time and effort into gear, more time and effort into mentoring and coaching. And but that's what we did. We put a lot into mentoring and coaching. And one of the ways that I went in my first year business from $1,600 clients to then our very next client being $7,500, again, within the same first year business, was we got a mentor. We got a mentor in November, I think it was November 2015. Over the course of 2 months, we implemented some stuff, launched those changes on our website. Our very next customer spent over $7,500 with us. That's like, that was life changing. I was looking over my shoulder going, well, wait, is somebody going to arrest me? Because that's a lot of money. It was life changing. So again, the question is, and it should be, it's who, not how, right? But I'm assuming you're here. You're saying that. And so I'm, and I saw you said sand, so I'm going to call you Sand because you said sand. You're in a new market, right? So new market, that's a big deal. Biggest tips I have for you there is Google's great. If you're just trying to rank on your own, most people, if they ever rank, it usually takes about 12 to 15 months. We do help people achieve it in about 30 to 90 days. So, I don't know what sort of position you are in. If you're like, hey, I'm trying to really grow my business fast in this new area, but SEO can be great. But I'll be honest, like, it's not normal for someone to rank really fast with SEO apart from me working with them inside of Dream Clients. Like, I'm just being honest with you. So the other thing is like making connections with vendors, getting on preferred vendors lists, being able to rub shoulders there. We actually give people inside of Dream Clients as well. I know I'm going to sound like that guy. I'm trying to pitch Dream Clients. I just believe in it so much.
I was hoping you all
Michelle's
would.
saying something.
Yeah, she's saying I was hoping you all would. She said this when you were talking about finding your who.
Yep.
But it'd be a few months before it could afford y'all.
All right. So.
And she's between Knoxville and Asheville.
Knoxville and Asheville. So you're in a pretty good area, Sand. So here's the thing. We hear this quite a bit. We hear people saying, okay, I'm moving into a new area. I want to make sure I melt away a few false beliefs here real quick that I commonly hear. One is that, you can't rank in a new area that you just moved into. It would take too long. That's false. We've seen and helped people rank in new areas before they even moved to those new areas, like within a month or two. So it's very easy, if you know the right stuff to do, to rank in a new area. The other thing is, it's like, we do have, if you qualified for, say, Dream Clients, we actually do have some really flexible ways to be able to afford it. And so we've got even options that, and again, we have limited seats for some of this stuff, so I can't necessarily let everybody in all at once. Like, if we get a few different people message me after this, please feel free to message me. But we have payment options that are as low as like, what is it, like $270 a month ish, and we have an option that we really only run it as a promo. So this is something we're looking. I'm telling you this because we're about to run another promo. So you guys are kind of getting a peek behind the curtain here of what we're going to be doing here in the next week or so, where we're able to do like $0 down for 30 days, and then payments as low as $270 a month. And so just I don't want anybody here going, oh man, I really wish I could get some massive life-changing, business transformation results, but I just don't think now's the time. That's probably your procrastination brain telling you that, and it's probably your fear trying to tell you that. If someone came to me and said, hey, look, here's my situation. I said, look, I believe you can take care of your customers. I believe you've got what it takes. I've seen people that were about to quit, turn the ship around, and get up to hitting almost $200,000 a year. So I believe in people around here. One of my first mentors told me to keep my day job. Fast forward like a year later, I was, basically running a 6-figure business. So I believe in you all. That's the big thing. Like, I really believe in you all because I've seen not only what happened in my life, but I've seen what you guys have done. I've seen what other people have done where they're in this spot and then they make this change. Again, calculated changes. It's not random. It's not, just throwing, spitting into the wind. It's calculated changes with a proven system that creates real results in a real window of time that's actually pretty amazing. And so if that's you, again, that's who the reach out is for. If you comment, reach out, Michelle's going to follow up with you and have a conversation. That doesn't mean you're buying anything. We still have to kind of get an idea of like where your business is at. Can we really help you? Like, are you a good fit? Stuff like that. But if you comment and reach out, Sand, for example, then we can have that conversation a little bit deeper and see if this is maybe a good next step for your business. But it's kind of like that old saying, if you don't get help here, get help somewhere, right?
We got a few comments
Got a few comments coming through. Bianca says, reach out. Sand says, that's pretty much me right now, or traveling back to Miami. Yeah, cool. So Joe and Maggie Armini ask, how much is your course? So that's kind of a difficult question. If you're talking about the insider membership, we have, right now we're running a promo for that where it's $97 a month. So I want to say it's set up actually right now for 30 days free. So if you join, again, you get access to all the various mini courses there for it's 30 days free, but then it's $97 a month. So I've got like a SEO mini course in there. I've got a blogging and AI mini course that will just blow your mind inside of there. I've got some mindset stuff that really was actually super powerful for me to take me from where I was at to a 6-figure business. Believe it or not, mindset is actually a huge part of that. And it sounds silly, but when I realized that, it was very transformational in my business. Let's see. So in terms of my mentorship, that is something that what we found is we actually don't want people to like, if you're going to ask the price before we talk about it, we found that those people typically don't have the mindset for it. And so if you're wondering the price for that, then I recommend doing the insider membership first.
It's expensive.
Because it's expensive. It is expensive.
It's also cheaper than free.
And it's cheaper than free. That's a good way to put it. It's expensive and it's cheaper than free, but we found that, again, we have a very specific vetting process for that, and we're not trying to hide prices from anybody. We're the big bad people. We're hiding the price, all that. It's actually very calculated why we do that. And so insider membership is a fantastic next step if you are trying to get into the SEO world. You want to start having a framework. You want to be exposed to some of this content. And again, it's like a 30-day free trial. So if you get in there like, this is dumb, then just cancel it. I mean, I don't want you in there if you don't find the content super helpful, right? And again, just in case that is something that you're interested in, I will go ahead and put the link into the comments once more for that, because I know that Facebook kind of like makes the link disappear every once in a while. So Bianca, Michelle will be reaching out to you here shortly to follow up, get to hear a little bit more about your business. We definitely want to hear what you got going on, where you're trying to get to. And I'm excited. Michelle gets to talk with you. Michelle's great. We love being able to help. Usually we want to try to work with people that are looking to minimally add $30,000 to $40,000 per year to their yearly revenue. Right. So, I mean, we've done more than that for some, but that's, way more. But Michelle says way more. Who thinks Michelle needs to like come on camera? The only thing is this camera has like, I'm going to have to like make the depth of field not so shallow. I might have to rearrange my office. Michelle, I would love for her to come on. But yeah, you all let Michelle know if you want her to come on camera too. I think it'd be cool. But we decided she needed to be here because it's really hard for me to see all the comments and all that. And I was like, why don't you just stay in my office, just read off comments and make sure we don't miss any of them. So Bianca says, I'm stoked for you to chat with Michelle a little bit. And okay. Yes. So okay. You love talking to Michelle. Okay. So I've met a few Sandras. I do remember talking to you though. I'm pretty sure. So I can't tell just because I didn't remember your last name, but anyhow, we got some more stuff coming through. Stephine says, I'm definitely interested, planning on leaving GM and going full time next year. GM, like General Motors? Is that what you mean by GM? Let me know. Joan Meg says, that's understandable. I'm mainly curious if it would be feasible for someone who knows a fair amount of SEO and super geeky in AI. Yes, the answer is 100% yes. Usually the people that come to me and say, hey, I'm pretty geeky in SEO, and like most of the people I've had many people actually that have taken multiple other SEO courses. They just haven't hit their goals yet. And my whole thing is I'm primarily a wedding photographer, though I become known for SEO because what I do really affects your bottom line. And so we've begun, we used to call it easy SEO, but we're thinking about changing it to not SEO. Like I can't believe it's not butter, because like we've found that the way that we do SEO is so different than what everybody else is doing that it really needs to not be called SEO. Like it works, but it needs to be called not SEO. So the first part of your question, would it be feasible for someone who knows a fair amount of SEO and super geeky? Yes, 100%. And my only question to you would be, if how should I state this? Here's the thing with most people. Even people that come to me and say, hey, I already know some SEO stuff. My question to them is always, okay, well, what goal have you not hit yet? Right? Because if you're coming to me and you've already done SEO stuff, it's like, well, there's some goal you haven't hit. Because if you knew what you needed to do, then you wouldn't be coming to me. Right? So that might be my question to you is, well, what goal have you not hit yet that's keeping you looking for stuff, even though you know some SEO and AI type stuff, right? So, the SEO stuff that is inside of Insider membership is going to be more basic level. It is designed to be more of like a starter series. Dream Clients, my mentorship is really meant to like handhold you. Like we're going to mentor you, coach you through me and my team and through the entire process of ranking on Google and knowing how to replicate it for multiple different locations within 30 to 90 days. So, if most people have about $5,000 at least extra worth of bookings that they could gain if they were ranking on Google each and every month. So if you think about it, if you're not ranking on Google for 3 months, then you've missed out on $15,000. Now, I like to, whenever I talk to people and interview them for Dream Clients, potentially, them potentially being a member in Dream Clients, we look at their market potential. That's one of the first things we do is we go, okay, well, what's your market potential? Sometimes people have $5,000 extra they could add. Sometimes it's $15,000. I mean, we've seen some people make, I think it was $18,000 in 10 days, right? We've seen people do, we had one person, I think she did about 30,000, maybe it was 25,000 in 2 months booking out her associates. So Google can be very valuable. And so my whole thing is like, we want to target specific goals in order for you to go, okay, now we reverse engineer a solution there. So, I'm just saying like Joe and Maggie, what I'm doing is very much more based on how do we get you transformative results and less on just SEO, if that makes sense. But the result of us doing that is you ranking on Google. The second part of your question was, I guess, what would be the benefit of the mentor course to someone who has a lot of education on this already? Yep, totally. I think I just answered that. But you also said more so wondering if I'm missing something more education-wise. You may have to clarify that last sentence for me because I'm not sure what that means. But more so wondering if I'm missing something more education-wise. I'll just reiterate what I said before, though. We've had a lot of people that have done multiple other SEO things. To the average person, that person would know a lot of SEO. And there's been people, we had one person that she's a newborn and family and motherhood photographer, and she was wanting to go full time. She had worked with somebody for about 12 months on SEO. And actually, this person's fairly respected. I know who they are, but just hadn't gotten any results. And I looked at her stuff and I said, here's what we need to do. And she ranked on Google, I think it was like 27 days. She then ranked on first page for like multiple locations. She actually left us a testimonial video if you want to see any of that. I hate throwing out testimonials because I think it totally looks like, okay, cool dude, like stop trying to convince us of stuff, or cool dude, great that you got testimonials. But like some people want to watch these because a lot of these are more like, how do you say it? Almost like podcast style. So they're on jeffarmstrong.education. I'll just share that link here. Because that may be good for you guys to kind of work through and see how I do things a little bit differently, right? But we do have a lot of people that come through like, hey, like I've already done multiple other SEO courses. Like I understand SEO. We will blow your mind because a lot of it is not just SEO. It's high level psychology. So I've made it a priority, and I've studied luxury brands over the course of like the last 10 years. And so again, a lot of the stuff that we're baking into your website is not just SEO. We're coming up with advanced solutions based on psychology that your average person just does not know at all. So I think that's where people even that have a lot of knowledge with SEO come in and they're like, oh, wow, this is like next level stuff. So I think that I hate saying, I read marketing books that say, you need to say you're the best at this. You need to say that you're the best at the thing. I don't really feel like saying I'm the best at what I do. I do know that other people say that. And so anyhow, Michelle says I'm too humble. So I don't know. You all tell me what you think. But that's how I feel. I've just always felt like, there's like in Proverbs in the Bible, there's a Bible verse that says, let others praise you, let the lips of others praise you. And so I've always kind of taken that as like, yeah, this sounds like a reasonable thing to do. But let me find the comment section here. I'll post that page if you do want to check out any more of kind of like some of the others that have went through the process. Let me make sure I got the right link here. Ooh, I think this is the right one. I'm going to post it. Could be wrong. If it's wrong, I'll try again. Sand had another comment. Let's see if that's the right link first, though.
She said, if I sign up for this and want to upgrade to the mentorship program, is that something I can do?
Yeah, you can totally do Insider, Sand. You can do Insider. And honestly, we've had a number of people that have signed up for Insider. Then they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I had like 2 people after I had first launched it, like within like the first, they'd only been in for like, I don't know, maybe 30 days, maybe. And they, one messaged me, and then I talked to another one on a Zoom because she was interested in becoming a Dream Clients member. She goes, yeah, that content was life-changing. So the content's great. And actually it's different. There's some crossover between the content, but the content in the Insider membership is actually different than the content that's inside of Dream Clients. Dream Clients is more so built for people that already have a solid understanding of a lot of the mindset stuff, because we want to focus on higher level psychology. Insider membership is really meant to help people to be able to make the transition from like, okay, I'm wanting to get to the place where my business is becoming, I'm experiencing a transformation. But maybe I'm not quite to the place where I'm ready to say, oh yeah, I want to start making like a significant amount of bookings and start adding, again, like Dream Clients, like we're kind of usually trying to find people that are looking to add at least $30,000 to $40,000 to their yearly revenue worth of bookings. Now, 30 to 40,000 is sort of like a minimum. Again, I think just about anybody can add an additional $5,000 to their revenue per month by ranking on Google if you're doing it correctly. So, oh no, do we have any more comments come through? Sam says, I'm sorry to ask a lot. No, ask a lot of questions. Love it. Totally. Would love for you to ask as many questions as you want to. And Joe and Maggie, like if you guys want to chat anymore, I'd be more than happy to chat with you, because, the last thing I'd want someone to do when it comes to like Dream Clients is like, oh, you sign up for something and then like, wait a second, this is all stuff I've already learned on YouTube. And what I found is the stuff that I'm talking about, it's not on YouTube. Now, yeah, some of the basic stuff that I'd have to cover just for the people, like I do tell people, hey, here's how you do keyword research. Here's how you do backlinks. Here's how you do. But here's what I found. Even with all that basic stuff, there's typically nuance that people miss that is incredibly important. I mean, I've had people come in and say, well, I know how to do keywords. And then I'm like, yeah, but if you made these several tweaks, like you would get way more traffic and you would rank a lot faster and higher. And we've seen that with people. We've seen some people, they're kind of stuck back, for instance, on like the 3rd page of Google. We make some changes and all of a sudden, bam, they jump up to the 1st page of Google quickly. I mean, we had this one time with a guy, he was stuck on the 2nd page of Google, said, hey, make these tweaks, made the tweaks, took him like 2 seconds. He then submitted those changes to Google, and literally 30 minutes later, he was on the 1st page of Google. That was back in 2019, I think. And he is still on the 1st page of Google. He has been on the 1st page of Google since 2019 in a pretty high-end market. So that's cool stuff, in my opinion. I think that's really cool. But if we don't have any more questions coming through, I mean, it's great that you guys are sticking around. You're hanging out. I love that we get to spend time together. No more questions. We'll shut it down for tonight. I know we had maybe 1 or 2 people comment, reach out. So we'll be following up with whoever commented, reach out, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys for being here. Look forward to seeing you next week on our Easy SEO Live, and look forward to seeing you on Google soon. Thanks for being here, guys. Y'all have a good night.